Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Evan Jones, candidate for the Greens in Ryan. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners, and I'd also like to acknowledge the candidates for Ryan. And I think in Ryan we're pretty lucky if any of the candidates in this room would get returned to office. You can take what you want from the negative influence, but I've met Ross a number of times now. I've just met Charles and Jim. All have stunning candidates, so we should be proud in Ryan of our ability to bring forth candidates like this. Now, just a quick plug, this evening at 6 o'clock at the Staff Club, we have a forum on renewable energy sources, so if you're interested in that, come along, 6 o'clock at the Staff Club. But because I have only a few minutes, I'll be very brief. If you want to quiz me later, I'll be here after the forum and this evening at the Staff Club. I'll focus on two things, student issues and then academic issues. And so a brief overarching statement of, well, actually maybe I should first say me too, because I think we all pretty much agree with all the value statements put forward by the last two speakers. So on to specific policy. So Green specific policy, our fundamental idea is that education, free, high quality public education is fundamental and vital to Australia's future, not only economically, but socially and culturally. Specifically, we'd like to see university education free for all students. We'd like to see HECS abolished. We think students coming out of university with tens of thousands of dollars of debts is not good for anybody. We'd like to see university places awarded on merit and not on the ability to pay for them. We like to see strong student unions, because student unions are an essential part to student life. They provide services, they provide resources, they provide us. They provide a lot of the culture which is important for university students. So the Greens oppose the VSU. Now, you don't have to take it from me, you can take it from your own union. The National Union of Students has highlighted 9 policy areas which they feel that the students are most concerned about. And if you look at the NUS website, you'll see their breakdown of these policy areas. And I'm pleased to say that the NUS rate the Greens policies with A's for all their 9 policy concerns. So if you're a student and you're interested in these A's and not the F's and the B's and C's which they give to some other parties, then vote for it. Because quite frankly, you're not going to get it if you don't vote for it. And if I'm not returned to office, and if the Greens don't gain government, if you vote for the policies you want, and your preferences determine government, then the government will know its mandate is conditional. So vote 1 for what you want. Now I'll quickly move on to some academic issues, and I think there are 2 big things here which are of interest to academics. Firstly, we have the research quality guidelines. What a piece of rubbish. This is just the government trying to put in control over research direction on universities. Have they not known or understand what the freedom of academic thought is about? This is what has driven academics for centuries to produce research outcomes, not this bit of rubbish control which is coming from the government. So I reject that. I think it's a thinly veiled attack on academic freedom. And firstly, does the government need to control research in universities? No, we have the CSIRO already. We have a government research body. Now, are the universities underperforming on research? No, not at all. I read a report recently that university research contributes about $10 billion in spin-off to the economy. So I don't think universities are underperforming. This is a bit of rubbish, and the millions of dollars spent on the administration of it, if they want positive research outcomes, they could give tenureship to a few academics. Now the other thing which is affecting universities are the HWERRs or something, the higher education work reform rubbish things, because this is just the government's coercion to push AWAs into the tertiary education sector. So 2005, tertiary education sector was forced to offer all their staff AWAs under this scheme. Well, forced to, or you can get your funding cut. What an opportunity there. Now, AWAs don't get misled on these. Their purpose, their goal is to reduce labour costs. And they reduce labour costs by reducing salaries and reducing conditions. And forcing them into tertiary education is just ridiculous. tertiary institutions have to compete internationally to get staff. And is it attractive? Let's come to Australia where your conditions are rubbish, where you can't be represented by a union. No. The Greens reject the AWAs for what they are, and we reject the HBRs, or however you want to pronounce this despicable bit of rubbish. Now, 2005 is when the HWERRs came into power, and they were rubber stamped by a Senate, because we know that the Senate is now controlled by the coalition, and any piece of rubbish which comes up to it gets rubber stamped. They first tried to introduce this legislation in 2003, and a balanced Senate in that time rejected it because it was rubbish then and it's rubbish now. Now, at this election, the ALP cannot gain a clear majority in the Senate, but the Greens can take balance of power. So if you want to see some review back in the Senate, if you want to see a bit of balance back in the Senate, a Senate that can accept good policy and reject bad policy, then vote on Greens in the upcoming election. Thank you very much.